To become a Jedi Knight is a goal many aspire to. They seek the knowledge and esteem of becoming a Knight of the Order, but some Jedi hopefuls who begin their training inevitably fail. Some of these students depart from the Order entirely, leaving in search of a different path, while others remain and serve the Order in different ways. On the planet of Arcania lived the noble Dre family, with their prized member being the young Barristan Dre. When it was discovered Dre was force sensitive, his training began, along with a few of his friends that were also determined to have a similar connection. Among this group was a young boy named Haazen, who served the Dre family, specifically Barristan, as a servant. Over their training, Dre excelled, becoming a powerful Jedi learner, but Haazen was considered clumsy in his use of the Force, and was a pitiful duelist. You yourself have admitted your facility with the Force remains awkward, your thoughts lack organization, your actions lack preparation, and when you do act, your foes easily read your intentions. On the day of the knighting ceremony for the students, after a grand feast in the Dre household, all of Haazen's friends were knighted as Jedi, but he was passed over. Humiliated and utterly broken, Haazen fled the Great Hall in a fit of shame, but Barristan pursued him and told him there were other ways to contribute to the Order. In the following years, Haazen served as an assistant to Barristan, who was still a Jedi, as the Great Sith War was waged throughout the galaxy. One day, Haazen was approached by a servant of the Sith Lord Exar Kun, who mocked him for his servitude and failure. A very depressed Haazen admitted he had grown to hate his old friend, and desired all he had attained in life. He also admitted he wished for Barristan to be killed, and for him to receive the recognition from the Jedi he felt he had deserved. The servant of Kun, named Dosa, told Haazen she could give him these things if he only betrayed the Jedi. Finally, completely broken, Haazen agreed, and fully gave into the dark side. Upon setting a trap for Barristan, Dosa betrayed Haazen, prematurely detonating a bomb solely meant for Barristan and the accompanying Jedi. Although the blast did not kill Haazen, it brutally disfigured him and resulted in the loss of his right arm and both legs. However, through the help of a doctor, Haazen was gifted new life through cybernetics and also an evil Sith artifact that was surgically implanted into his back. The artifact gifted Haazen power he had never felt before, and also made it so the Force did not flow through his body, but rather circled around him, making his mind impenetrable to Force users. Dosa then offered Haazen more artifacts and power if he pledged himself to the Sith and promised to destroy the Jedi. Haazen, however, refused, stating he was more than a Jedi or Sith and desired to rise above the powers of both orders. Haazen then executed Dosa for her role in his injuries and for her previous taunts against him. Later, Haazen would return to the newly widowed wife of Barristan and continued to serve the Dre household, secretly a servant of the dark. In the following years, Haazen even trained Barristan's son, Lucian, in the ways of the Force. Haazen discovered his Sith artifact allowed him to influence others, and he learned how to gain power by manipulation, not purely his Force abilities. Years would pass, and Barristan's wife named Krinda became weary of the Jedi Order and feared above all else the return of the Sith, feeling something was awry in the galaxy. Because of this, Krinda used her Force abilities with a group of others that were similarly gifted with foresight to reach into the future, and what they saw shocked them. The group witnessed the return of a powerful Sith Lord and learned it would come from within the Jedi Order in the form of a Padawan. Horrified and saddened, the group determined they must make the ultimate sacrifice and kill a large group of the Jedi Padawans, among them who they suspected to be a future Dark Lord. However, this vision was a lie, as Haazen had utilized his newfound power in the dark side to give the group a horrific and skewed vision of the future. Among these Padawans was the apprentice of Lucian named Zane, who had managed to escape. Enraged, Haazen demanded his former apprentice Lucian give up his Padawan, but Lucian refused. Time would pass, and Haazen's influence would continue to increase within the Jedi Order, as he was hailed as a hero and triumphant survivor of the Great Sith War. During this period, the Mandalorian Wars would break out, and Haazen would focus his attention away from finding the apprentice of Lucian and fully on the attacking Mandalorians. Finally, however, Haazen captured Lucian's apprentice Zane, who had been previously accused of being the Sith Lord envisioned by the Jedi. Haazen then revealed all to Zane, including how he was the embodiment of a prophecy long foretold, and a unique creature, as he served in his mind as a faithful Jedi, but also as a commander of the darkness and Sith Lord. He explained he stood above all, and was both one who was dark but walked in the light, and light but walked in the dark. Haazen informed the Jedi that trusted him that the Jedi Council had fallen under the guise of the dark side, which resulted in a massive civil war within the Order. During his time as a Knight of the Order and Secret Sith, Haazen fulfilled his lifelong goal of becoming a Jedi, but also fulfilled his goals of ripping the Order apart from within due to his intense hatred for them. As the Order crumbled, Haazen displayed his true power, unsheathing his crimson lightsaber and revealing all the Sith artifacts he had salvaged over the years. Lucian attempted to fight Haazen, but his power was simply too much, and he was easily defeated. Haazen personally took out groups of Jedi, finally relieved to show them his true power. He then approached Lucian, offering him a role as his apprentice in the coming reign of the new Jedi/Sith Order, uniting both organizations under Haazen. Lucian agreed, claiming a crimson blade of his own. Haazen told Lucian that if he so desired, he could adopt the name of Darth Sion, as he was destined for a life of pain. Haazen then ordered his remaining Jedi followers to bring all recovered Sith artifacts to him, and after doing so, he slaughtered them, believing they had fulfilled their purpose. Zane, who had previously escaped, attempted to make it to Haazen and Krinda, but was stopped by Lucian. The two then began a duel, as Haazen watched from above. Haazen contemplated replacing Zane as his new apprentice, but determined he would wait to see who the victor of the duel was. He then placed Krinda in stasis, as she was growing very weak, but the Dark Lord still required her aid and influence over the Jedi Order. He then claimed the evil artifacts, becoming more powerful than ever, and with this new power gained influence and control over the Republic fleet. Haazen then ordered the fleet to fire upon the Jedi Temple in an attempt to kill the Jedi Council, with the plan of retreating back to the home of the Drey family and becoming named Grand Master above a new Jedi/Sith Order. Meanwhile, the fight between Zane and Lucian broke off, and Lucian found his mother in stasis and freed her. She then revealed she had never ordered the killing of the younglings, and that Haazen had been behind the entire plot. Lucian tearfully admitted, although he let Zane live, he had taken part in the killing, telling his mother he believed the order had come directly from her. Heartbroken, Krinda died in her son's arms. Enraged, Lucian re-engaged with Zane, seemingly fully embracing the dark side. After a brief fight, a shocked Haazen witnessed Zane savagely murder Lucian, and then approached the boy. Zane told Haazen he would become his new apprentice, but only if the Jedi Temple and Coruscant remain intact. Suddenly, Zane grabbed Haazen's arm, claiming he himself was experiencing a vision. Shocked, Haazen hesitated, at which time Zane used his lightsaber to cut his arm off. Zane was then thrown across the city by Lucian, who was revealed to still be alive, and for the whole duel with his apprentice to have been staged. Lucian quickly grabbed Haazen's severed arm, which contained the Sith artifact that had allowed him to control the Republic fleet. Lucian, knowing his former master was too powerful to destroy him alone, aimed the fleet at Haazen and ordered a huge Republic strike be levied against the Dark Master. Although the strike severely burned Lucian, because he held the Sith artifact, he was spared. Haazen, however, met his fate on that day. Following the strike, the Jedi Order regrouped, revealing the public could never hold the knowledge such a great battle had sparked from within the Order, and thus blamed the attack on the Mandalorians. Lucian then ventured off into exile, determined to start his own Jedi Order. Haazen is an exceedingly compelling character, as he believed he achieved the goal of becoming both a Jedi and a Sith, but ultimately many would claim he never walked the path of the Jedi at all and was a Sith acolyte. Sith acolyte meaning he was never a Dark Lord, but simply a student of the darkness. His goals were ambitious and grandiose to say the least. Haazen was taking a similar principle that would later be implemented into the Rule of Two, but for him on a massive scale. That being, he wanted both the Jedi and Sith under his command, and he believed the constant competition between the two would breed great success for him as their sole ruler. This is somewhat similar to the way Krayt would construct his order thousands of years later. Haazen was never truly a Jedi or Sith, and truly did fall somewhere in the middle. However, it was worrying he successfully dwelled amongst the Jedi as one of them for the majority of his life. He was even considered one of their finest. So what do you think? After hearing his story, have you become a fan of Haazen, and do you believe it is possible to become both a Jedi and Sith? Or was Haazen and anyone else who attempts this simply a pretender of both orders? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't yet, maybe consider subscribing to ensure you stay up to date with everything Star Wars related. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, as it helps the channel out a great deal and I really appreciate it. Thanks again for watching, may the Force be with you, and have a great day.